Hey guys, Bottom25 here, watching onto another Starlink mission. I've lost count of which one this is, so I shall quickly check.
LDs go for launch.
Alright, it's going to be an interesting flight just because this is another, well, it's going to be another record for the most reflown Falcon 9.
T-minus 30 seconds.
Don't necessarily, this booster has flown, well, this will be its 6th flight.
Okay, so we're in the final phases of the countdown. Let's watch
Of course, there's 3 SkySats on.
58 Starlink satellites and 3 Planet SkySats into orbit.
10,
T-minus 10,
9,
8,
8, 7, 6,
6,
5,
4,
4, 3,
2, what? You can see the deluge system activate. Ignition. And
lift
liftoff
off
of
for the Falcon 9. Go Starlink.
You can see that it's an extremely toasty Falcon 9. There we go, this is obviously Slick 40, Space Launch Complex 40. At the Cape Canaveral Air Force Station. I don't know if they've rebranded it to the Space Force Station, honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, SpaceX, for these like multiple reuse, like they always use their own Starlink missions to push the records.
A successful liftoff of Falcon 9
Power
from
telemetry
Space
nominal.
Launch Complex 40 for this 11th Starlink mission. The 3 Planet SkySats and our 58 Starlink satellites are on their way to space. In about 10 seconds, we will be approaching max Q.
The vehicle is transonic at the moment.
Vehicle is throttling down as they anticipate the moment of greatest aerodynamic pressure.
There we go, max Q.
Max Q.
Alright, we just went through max Q, and the vehicle is now supersonic, and Merlin engines have throttled back up. So
So
coming
this
up
is
in about a
Starlink
minute,
10.
we'll have 3 events happening
Do
back
believe.
to back. First will be main engine cutoff, or MECO. This is where all 9 Merlin engines will shut off to slow the vehicle down in preparation for the second event, stage separation. This is where the first stage separates from the second stage, with
And
stage
flips around
1
and comes
starting
back.
to make its way back to Earth for landing, while second stage will kick off the third event in this sequence, SES-1, or Second Engine Start 1. This is where that Merlin vacuum engine will ignite and begin to propel the second stage along with our payloads into orbit. Main engine cutoff coming up in about 20 seconds.
And of course, the interesting thing about the Falcon 9 is it doesn't use the traditional kind of explosive bolts and stuff to separate.
Everything continuing to look
It
nominal.
uses basically
for
the
stage
latches and pneumatics. Or hydraulics, I don't know. I think it's pneumatic.
We have MECO.
MECO, there you go.
Stage separation confirmed.
And
impact.
second engine start, yeah.
All right,
Well,
so there we
SES,
saw those
that's
3
more.
events all happen in quick succession.
That's more ULA
Stage 1 is now
terminology.
making its way back to Earth.
You can see
There on
those
the left-hand
massive
side of your
titanium
screen,
grid
you
fins
see the
deploying.
grid fins
Those are
slowly
actually
deploying.
huge.
And on the right-hand side of your screen, the Merlin vacuum engine beginning to develop that healthy orange glow as it continues its journey on to orbit.
Fairing separation confirmed.
We're just a few seconds away from fairing deployment.
There they go.
There we go. Visual confirmation of fairing deployment. Once again, as a reminder, we flew those fairings on a previous Starlink mission in January earlier this year. So with
And
that,
of course
we
it's
have
going to be another
successfully
attempted recovery.
reused this fairing pair. Like I said earlier, we will be attempting to catch those fairing halves with our recovery ships, Ms. Tree and Ms. Chief.
Bermuda acquisition of
Everything
signal.
continuing nominally.
I'm confused. Some people say the Starlink 11, others say the Starlink 10. I'm confused.
While the
I'll just
second
check when
stage
I'm
is
uploading.
continuing to do its job, the first stage is making its way back home to Earth.
Well, back
In the
to the
next few
drone ship, but
minutes,
yes.
it will be executing 2 burns. The first is the entry burn, where 3 of the Merlin engines at the bottom of the first stage will light up and begin to slow the stage down as it re-enters the upper part of the Earth's atmosphere. The second burn is
Will
known
be
as
the
the
landing
landing
burn.
burn. This is a single engine burn that will bring the vehicle speed down rapidly in order to make a soft landing on the drone ship. The 58
Stage 2
Starlink
on
satellites
nominal
that
trajectory.
are being carried along on the right-hand side of your screen there by the second stage will
course, you
be
can't see the
joining
satellites at the moment.
our constellation of over 600 Starlink satellites that are already on orbit,
That's impressive.
which once again are designed to provide high-speed, low-latency internet to people on Earth. This is particularly important for places where good internet is hard to access, as well as places where wired or grounded internet is impossible, such as ships and airplanes. We're 1 minute away from the beginning of that entry burn. On the left-hand side of your screen, we can see stage 1 coasting. Using nothing but those grid fins, we see them articulate here and there as they continue to steer. And we also utilize nitrogen gas for occasional little bursts of that nitrogen gas, and we use that for attitude control, which sometimes you can catch a glimpse of as little white puffs.
Like there.
Second stage continuing nominally. Now at 1.5 Gs for acceleration. And 10 seconds away now from the beginning of that entry burn. Again, this is the first of 2 burns intended to slow the vehicle's velocity
Stage
down
1
as it
FTS is
re-enters the
saved.
Earth's atmosphere.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
There you go. Those 3
There
engines
we can
burning.
see that the entry burn has begun and will last for about 20 seconds.
Stage 2 continues on nominal trajectory.
Again, this burn utilizes
You know,
3
this looks like
engines
Starlink 10.
at
I
the
don't
base
know, I'm
of the
confused.
rocket. And
Stage
there
1
we
entry
can
burn
see the
shutdown.
entry burn has concluded. Second stage trajectory is still looking nominal.
Okay, now it's almost landing burn.
And in less than a minute, we will see the first stage on the left-hand side of the screen perform its landing burn.
Or not because of the
Looking
re-entry.
back at our second stage,
Disrupting
everything continues to look
communication.
good. Once again, we
I'll
are
wait for the
carrying
SkySat
58
deployment.
Starlink satellites prepared to join the over 600 Starlink satellites that are already on
Stage 1
orbit,
transonic.
as well as 3 rideshare satellites for our customer planets. Those 3 SkySats
These are Earth observation
will
satellites.
join the 18 SkySats that are already also on orbit. We're about 15 seconds away from landing burn.
I think so SpaceX
Terminal
wants to make at
bags.
least some money from these missions. Directly, I mean. Okay, you can see there. Second stage
Stage 1
doing
landing burn.
some angling. I don't know if this is like not normal or if this is just
And landing
we
burn has
usually
begun.
don't see it.
You should see the
Stage
plume
2
from the
FTS is
rocket
saved.
appear on the screen here.
Stage
in
1
a
landing
second.
leg deploy.
Yeah, you can see. Yep, there you go. And the booster has landed.
Our touchdown and shut off. Successful
1 landing
landing
confirmed.
There you
of
go.
the first stage booster. Once again, this is the 6th time that we have utilized this booster on a mission, also marking its 6th landing. This is the Of Course I Still Love You drone ship in the Atlantic Ocean.
And of course the second stage cut off. Soon fly right over my house, but I can't see it because, well, no, probably not right over my house, but
So
definitely with
turning our
invisibility.
attention back to second stage, we've had
Nominal orbit
confirmation
insertion.
of second engine cutoff, or SECO-1. And we also have confirmation of a good
Useful
orbit.
acquisition of
So now that stage 2 is going to coast in this orbit for another 3.5 minutes, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back at T plus 12 minutes for the deployment of Planet's 3 SkySats.
Given, you know what, I'm probably not going to wait around for that because the deployment isn't really that well visible. So that was the launch of Starlink 9 and those 3 SkySat satellites. I'm Baltimore 25. Goodbye.